guys, what we got here is this little garage area. So we've already built our whole foundation. Now we're gonna tie in where this wall meets here, and this little wall is gonna come over here. So what we do is put these rebars in here like this, and we're gonna cast them right into the wall when we pour, and that's how we're gonna tie our garage in. So over there, Jay's stuffing them in there. This is gonna be our footer here, and we're gonna have like 1, 2, 3 half courses of blocks. That's gonna be our wall going up through there. So we're gonna cement these right in, and that's gonna tie it in. And we're gonna fill our dirt up to here, because this is all over dig. See, this is a huge over dig. The way it got dug. Watch out, Big Biscuit. You're blocking my camera view here. So the excavator just dug it square, but we gotta, if you can envision it, this comes out like this for the garage, and then it tees in there and comes out, which is this little guy right here, this deal here. So everything else is done, but we're gonna do this afterwards. We're gonna build this up in lifts. We're gonna have to build it up 3 feet with gravel and pack it, tamp it real good. Of course, I'm gonna waterproof. This is all gonna be waterproofed first before I build this garage and fill it in. That's all gotta be waterproofed below that. And actually, I'm gonna waterproof right up this whole wall inside that garage, because you don't know if there's a spring or anything in the water. It can migrate through the wall. So I'll, like I said, I'll waterproof this whole wall. It's inside this garage area, and that's what we're gonna tie it into, if that makes sense. If you got any questions on that, guys, hit me up. Thanks, man. Hey guys, Bondo here. So you can see what we're doing here. We're trying to build this small garage, and first thing we had to do was Earl, the excavator, came over and he backfilled like half the basement all the way around. He put the he called it waste stone or waste stone. It was number 3 stone and smaller, so it was all clean stone. Really didn't have any dirt or nothing in it. Good drainage. So we went along and filled everything up halfway. You can see here we got some styrofoam board over the footer where those windows are kind of low, so they're gonna have to put a retaining wall in here, and I want a little extra frost protection there, so that's what we did here. We put some 2-inch foam. Here, my nephew Jordan's tamping everything here. After we got about halfway filled, we started filling in where this garage is gonna be. Biscuit, the humanitarian, saving the little frogs. We don't want no frogs to die on this project. Right, Biscuit? Frog lives matter. Yeah, frog lives matter. So here's lift number 2 or 3, guys. I'm not sure, but we're layering it in here. We, like I said, we'll just come along, rake it around, get it nice and flat, and then tamp it in. Guys, we got it all filled in up to where we want our footer on the wall here. We gotta dig it a little bit bigger. Look down through here, it's not quite big enough. He's gonna dig that out of there, give us a little more room to work. Chew that out of there. We need to make it a couple feet bigger. Right where that wall ties in where those rebars are. And this is all good here. It's all backfilled halfway. This is how far we're gonna backfill before we put the cap on. Carpenters are going to come put the cap on pretty soon, then we can finish it. We got to make this a little bigger right now. Everything's tamped in, we did it in layers. This is how you gotta do it so your floor doesn't settle. The footer's gonna be down here, the bottom of here. That's the bottom of the footer. So you got your frost coverage. Okay guys, we're just finishing this up here. Got our bracing up in our little garage here that we had tied in. This is where we stuck all those rebars down in there, guys, when we cast them right into the wall. Right down through here. You can see them all stubbed in. And then over here, you can see where we did it. That's how we tie them in. See all them rebars down in there? Guys, they cast right in to this wall when we poured the main basement. And then we brought up our fill, as you see in the video. We bring the grade up. This is only 1, 2, 3.5 courses high, so we cut our door out for our garage door. We'll cut that down, put some blocking on the sides just to hold it. That's what we did there. We're just throwing up some bracing quick. Jordan's pounding some pins in. Jay's big biscuit. Jay's outside spray foaming any gaps that we got. And we got our common seam right there. And we put a little plate here to hold the wall together. And we spray foam down through there just to kind of tie it all together. That's what we got going on. Right, biscuit? Mm-hmm. Zapping any little holes we got. You get them, Puss and Boot?
Yep, this one right here, that's it.
Looking good. Now we gotta fill this whole thing in. When we're done pouring it, let it cure, we gotta fill it right into the top of that opening right there, where that garage door opening is. We gotta fill it right into there. With gravel, that crushed gravel, which is this pile over here. We're gonna put that, it's actually crushed stone, it's all stone. We're gonna put that in there. And then we can finish backfilling. We can't really backfill the rest of the basement until we do finish this garage. That's how we're doing her. We're gonna pour it Thursday. Yeah. Alright guys, we're gonna pour the world's biggest garage today. This is it, the big new Dura pour for today. Pouring the footer in the wall. Right, Jay?
Yep.
Big biscuit. What do you think?
Might be able to fit a lawnmower and a weed whacker in that garage, if you're lucky.
A push mower.
Yeah.
A push mower, a weed whacker, and a shovel and a rake, right?
Yeah. That'd be a tight squeeze.
That's the capacity of this garage, guys. But that's how we did it. We're gonna pour it here shortly. Concrete's on its way. Got some big sauna tubes that we're pouring. We got 4 sauna tubes in the back here. Big, huge sauna tubes. They're 24 inches. Those tall ones are 6 feet high. And the shorter ones are like 5 feet high. So they support this roof system. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pour that wall and then we're gonna pull around here and hopefully we can reach. We gotta use a rear loader truck today, guys. So that's gonna be interesting. Stay with us. Well, here comes our concrete.
Let's see how talented this driver is.
It's 1 hour late.
I'm not that talented because he didn't swing her wide to begin with.
At the end of this driveway, oh, he's gonna back in.
Ooh.
Oh, good for that.
Makes our lives easier.
Well, you gotta back him all the way around here.
We're
No,
not
he's getting straight. End of this driveway is a pain in the butt. He's trying to get straight. There he comes. I could be sleeping right now because I worked nights last night. I got 3 hours of sleep. Right, boys?
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing?
Where's the bee?
Get him? Did you?
Yeah, I got him. I don't know where he went, but I definitely got him.
Let's get this done, boys, so I can go back to bed. Okay, guys, so here we go. Here's the big pour. This thing's only 27 feet long, so you think it would have been pretty easy, but it was a major pain in the butt. Like I said, we had to use a rear loader truck, so had to put all the chutes on this thing, and it wasn't flowing good. I always try to pour the footer part a little thicker, guys, so that it doesn't ooze out. So we started out here with the concrete pretty thick, and what you can see, Jason and Jordan are trying to push it down there with their shovels, and we tried to use a concrete vibrator to get it to flow, and it just wasn't flowing. That chute, just not enough angle to that chute, so we're just kind of scooping it down in there, trying to get that footer filled up. Like I said, it was a major pain in the butt. We had to back this truck all the way around the house because there's a septic system that's already been built on this end here, so we couldn't drive the truck in there, which kind of made it even harder. So here I am vibrating that footer piece with the thicker concrete, trying to get it down in there. Earl, the excavator, he came over to see how we were doing, and he actually gave us a hand, which was nice. That's him down there in the blue with the vibrator in his hand. And you can see we're struggling the whole way here, guys, using the shovels the whole time to scrape the chute down in there. This thing's only 5 yards, like I said, and I mean, if you had a conveyor truck or a pumper, this would take no time at all. It probably could do it in a half an hour. I think it took us well over an hour to do this. Probably an hour and 15 minutes to do this stupid wall. Anyways, that's what we're doing here. We got to keep moving along, trying to get that footer filled, and then we actually added some water to the concrete just to try to make it flow better. But that didn't work too good because then it was oozing out of the footer down at the bottom, which usually I always, when I do them like this, I'll pour the footer ahead of time and let it set up a little bit, but we couldn't really do it on this short wall. So guys, do me a favor, if you like this video so far, go down and hit the like button. That'll help out my channel a lot. Also, if you guys like this Nudura foundation work that we do here, I got tons of videos on this stuff, guys. This is just one of the small ones that we're doing here today, but you know, go on my channel, check it out. I believe that Nudura product's the best ICF in the market, and I think it's pretty user friendly for, you know, a DIY project. Maybe start with a small project and work your way up. So I got a lot of tips on there on how to use this product and things that'll save you a lot of time and money, and probably help you save from something bad happening when you try to pour these walls. You know, we also do a lot of flat work, guys. We, you know, a lot of anything to do with concrete, and we fix up houses in the winter. Now, if you like that kind of stuff, you know, like I said, check out my channel. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. You guys that are subscribers, thanks for the support. As always, leave me a comment. You know, ask me a question if you got one on anything that we're doing here. So back to the video, guys. We're moving along here, but you know, this thing just a pain in the butt. I'll be honest with you. Probably the hardest wall I've ever poured, and it's the smallest wall I've ever poured. So kind of ironic, but that's how it went. Just didn't go well at all with this rear loader truck. Like I said, the height of the truck versus the height of the wall, that concrete did not want to flow at all, guys. But we ended up getting it. I mean, we kept plugging away at it, and we got it. We got it here in the end, and then we went over and poured those sonotubes. I had 9 yards of concrete on this truck, so I figured my wall was going to take about 5 yards, and then we were going to use the rest to fill up those big sonotubes, get as many of them full as we can. And then there's a few more we got to pour another day. But after we're done with this, you know, let this wall cure, we're going to finish backfilling it in lifts like we did down low. We're just going to bring lifts, and we're going to fill the inside and the outside at about the same time, and tamp it in layers so that when we come in and pour our floor in this little garage, it's not going to settle on you. That's the only way to do it. If you go ahead and just have somebody fill it in, the excavator fills it in, you don't tamp it, it's going to be a mess for you. Your thing's going to settle and it's going to crack. And we've taken a bunch of floors out that exactly what happened. They didn't compact it properly, and it just you drive into your garage one day and the floor collapses underneath you. Actually, I got some videos on there. I got at least a couple videos of floors that we've taken out. I think 3 videos on YouTube of floors we've taken out, and 2 of them had big gaps underneath it because it wasn't compacted properly. So that's real important. So guys, if you like how we did this mono pour system where we poured the wall and the footer at the same time, I'll link up a video at the end of this video on how do you build this assembly. It's I didn't really get into how we built this in this video, but like I said, I got another video and it shows you exactly how to build this assembly where you got your wall and your footer all in one pour. I do this a lot, guys. It works really good. Obviously it didn't work that great on this pour because we didn't have the right truck, but just to explain, the reason we use this rear load truck today was we didn't have availability to get a conveyor or anything. I live in upstate New York, and for some reason it's really hard to get concrete right now, so to get a conveyor it was going to be at least 2 weeks. So I didn't want to wait for that because this little garage is kind of holding up this whole house project, and those sonotubes, that's all part of it's got to tie into the roof. So we had to get this done. So, and I didn't really think it was going to be that much of a pain as it was, but as you can see, it took forever and it was a major pain, but we struggled our way through it, guys, and got her done. So that's pretty much the end of the video, guys. As far as I'm concerned here, I showed you what not to do, I guess, on pouring these little ICF or any ICF wall. I wouldn't recommend using a rear truck unless the truck's a lot higher, like your grade's higher, and your chute can kind of angle down and you get a better flow out of the truck and you got good accessibility around it. You can definitely do it, but this particular one, not good. We weren't high enough with the truck and we didn't have very good way to get around it, like I said, due to the septic system. So bad choice on my part, but we got it done. We usually get things done. If you watch my channel, we get it done and struggle through it. So thanks for watching the video, guys, and I'll definitely see you on the next video. And again, check out my channel, leave me a comment, subscribe, like it. If you like this video, smash that like button. I'm gonna try to get monetized here with my channel, so I'm about halfway there, guys, and I appreciate the support. Thanks again.